Good. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Greenwood City Council meeting this evening, Monday, July the 6th, 2026 at 7:01 p.m. Ms. Derry, would you call the roll for us, please?
Yes, A.C. Brown is absent. Ralph Meeker.
Here.
Tim Terry is absent. Roger Rainwater.
Here.
Steve Tedford.
Here.
Rod Powell. Here. There is a quorum.
Thank you. Would everybody please stand tonight to begin our meeting? We'll have our prayer by Chief Brad Hobbs, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Jeff Turner.
Let us pray. Father, first and foremost, we praise your name. We thank you for everything that you do for us. We thank you for this 250 years of this great nation that you've blessed us with. Father, we ask you to be with our city council, our governing body, that you'll provide them with the strength and the wisdom, and the patience, and that they lead our city in your direction, Father. And these things we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I would ask the council to consider approving the minutes for the June 1st, 2026 regular city council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve them as written.
Second. Have a motion and a second?
Mr. Meeker.
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater.
Yes.
Mr. Tedford.
Yes.
Mr. Powell.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is recognitions and acknowledgements. First, to recognize everybody here. Appreciate you coming. We got a good crowd tonight. And acknowledge you being here. That's good. Even Mr. Lloyd, good to see you, sir. I meant that very nicely. He's not smiling. I have a really, really cool recognition that I want to do real quick if I can. Oh my gosh, my notes are on my desk. Did you send it to me? Would you do that? Thank you, Jeff. I think. It's really cool, I promise you. I got it. Thank you, Jeff. He's gonna be looking. Buddy, or
Okay.
Chief, would you tell him? Sorry about that.
Should there be anybody left in the meeting?
I don't know. But, Bob, would you check on the chief?
Just
Sorry.
Everybody line up single file.
Yeah, everybody line up.
at Doug's office.
Sorry about that, Jeff. So tonight, I want to bring attention to a special lady here with us, and you can guess who that is probably up front here. Charlotte Derry, our city clerk treasurer, has done amazing work over the years. How many years we talking?
Oh, I'm starting on my 29th year.
29 years. She started when she was 7. So she's done an amazing job, and we appreciate her very much every day. But what I want to talk about tonight real quick is what she's done for the city that has taken across the state. I mean, when you're recognized by these groups, it's pretty amazing. It's humbling, I know, and I know she's that way too, but it's also, it's her peers that have put her in these positions. So you don't get to do that without doing the right thing and working very, very hard at it. So we've got a list here of accomplishments, and these are not all of them, I can promise you, but 26, she was elected 26, 27 vice president of the Arkansas City Clerks, Recorders, Treasurers Association. She was awarded the 2026 Arkansas Clerk of the Year, was invited. Due to that, I've never gotten this honor. She was invited to toss the first pitch at last Thursday's Arkansas Natural baseball game in honor of being chosen. I asked her this morning if it was a strike, and she said after it bounced 3 times to get to the plate, it was close to a strike. So that's awesome. She's received the Master Arkansas Municipal Clerk designation, and this took many, many hours of education and dedication on behalf of that profession. She was also awarded the ACE Advanced Level 3 certification at the Arkansas Municipal League. And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, I'm sure there's more to come, the year's not just half over, right? Appointed by President Westergan, the new president of the Arkansas Municipal League that took my spot in June. Is a clerk herself, which is pretty cool because she's the first clerk since 1950 something. Only second clerk in in the state to be appointed to the presidency of the Arkansas Municipal League. But anyway, President Westergan has recently appointed Charlotte to serve on the executive committee of the Arkansas Municipal League this coming year. So these are huge honors, and there's no one more deserving than Charlotte Airy for this, so
Thank
she
you,
deserves it.
guys. Thank you.
If I may, we'll just put that right up front there.
I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, and thank you, everybody. And it's a lot of people here. I think on the urging of Sunny Bell nominated me for this, and so I really appreciate that, Sunny, more than you know. I think he has nominated me in past years, but this year he really tried to push it. I was also nominated by some other clerks in the state, and that was a real touching thing for me. And I was up against the other ones nominated were the city clerk of Fayetteville and a deputy city clerk of West Memphis. And I admire those two women. They're great clerks and peers of mine. And so once the nominations are received by the association, it's a points thing. And it's tenure and all the education you've attended and what kind of classes you've given and what you've taken, blah, blah, blah. So it's quite a big honor. So I appreciate you, everybody that made this happen.
Congratulations, you represent Greenwood very well.
Thank you.
And you made us all very proud, so.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Likewise. I appreciate it.
Okay, I am sorry, my phone is going crazy. Let me fix this real quick. Sorry. I thought it was you, Travis, but it's not. Okay. Committee reports, boys, I think a few have, that's you. I think a few have been submitted, but not all. As I say every month, if you don't see if you see something that's missing, let us know. Danielle's not here tonight. Gave her a little break tonight, but if there's not something that you need to see, let me know or let Danielle know. We certainly get it to you. Citizen Forum, I have no one that has signed up tonight, so if you're aware of that, if you're not aware of it, you can just come up and speak, and you have 5 minutes. Does anybody want to do that? Okay, we're good. We'll move on to financial report from Mr. Tom Marsh. Oh, while you're doing that, let me do this, because I meant to do it a moment ago, under recognitions and acknowledgements. I would like for Casey Craig to stand up, please. This young man, well, he's not so young anymore. How long you been here? 5 years. So you've aged 10 at least. But Casey put on, along with his staff, who are amazing, Megan, the new assistant director, who is amazing, and his staff of workers, the street department, the fire department, the police department. Hunter spent most of the day down there, I know. Bob, of course, was there, but he's supposed to do that. No, I'm just kidding. But what a great event, and the Masons are here. Great pancake breakfast. I almost got there too late, but thank you for saving me a pancake. It was delicious. But the event went off without a hitch. Committee, your Parks Committee, your Freedom Fest committee that works along with Casey, did an amazing job. It was just perfect, I think. Great bands, great crowds. We had a little scare for a short few minutes. We had a 7-year-old little boy that was missing, or so his mom thought. And the police department came into action real quick, and he was found within minutes, which is a praise the Lord item for sure. He was not harmed or anything. So everything just went really well. Got to the fireworks. We did if you weren't aware of what was going on, I mentioned it last month, I think, but we did a 2.5 to 3 minute special tribute to Kelly Hendricks, who most of you know, who we lost this year. And that was really, really cool and touching. I want to say this about the gentleman that puts on our fireworks typically, Keith Jenkins, who works for the company that puts the fireworks on, called me Saturday morning and was very much upset. He said, "This is my baby. It's been my baby for years and years." And he got called to Mena because they were short of help, so he had to go to Mena to work that fireworks show. He's the one that put the fireworks together for Kelly and basically paid for them out of his pocket, pretty much. So thank you to Keith Jenkins for that. And hopefully we'll all remember Kelly and appreciate him for what he did for us and the flags around town. And we are going to continue. I've already talked to Jeff, and Jeff's already started the process. We're going to work and continue to buy new flags and put up around town. I don't know that we'll ever get to 200 like Kelly had, but we're going to try to decorate the town with flags and keep them up like Kelly would have done himself. So, Casey, we appreciate you. You did a great job, and your staff. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, Mr. Marsh, sorry.
Okay, first I want to start off by saying that I've got a few additional detailed slides for you to look over and review. The first one I want to show you is the Greenwood's 2% city sales and use tax June over the same period, June 26 over 25. We're up just under 0.5%. A lot of that has to do with obviously rebates and audits. Fort Smith had a 6.18% increase. You probably read about that on Talk Business and Politics. Interesting is the county also was up 6.18% overall as far as the distributions were concerned. So they're kind of following the path of the lead of Fort Smith. One of the things I wanted to share with you, though, is that in addition to that 0.48% same period, June over June, the cumulative growth, 26 over 25, was 6.27%, which is phenomenal considering where we were at this point last year. I'll show you that in a second. As far as the county sales tax is concerned, very, very impressive June over June for the county. 7.51% was our same period percentage increase. Our cumulative growth has now grown to 4%. And I'll show you what that equated to as far as how it benefits each of the operating departments that are served by the county sales tax. Operation for the admin and promotional tax revenues. As you know, the finance department has taken over the collection ability and the monitoring and the posting of the payments, and we have a process now that we're following with the state rules and the state regs and state law as far as trying to prompt earlier payments rather than delaying over a month, and then we have to deal with potential penalties. There is a 2% discount for an early payment, which is 20 days after the end of the month. So between now and the 20th of July, the June payments, if they come in, the actual remitter can take 2% of that tax back and withhold it for themselves as far as their incentive to pay early. It's a discount for early payment. So what we're doing is we're going to show you what that percentage is. And we're also, when we do the reporting for A&P, we're going to let them know exactly how many dollars that is so they can see the benefits of accelerated cash flow. A lot of it has to do more with kind of leveling out the remittances as they come in so that there's not 1 month up and 1 month down, and I'll show you that as well. But the idea is that by giving them the ability and an incentive to actually pay early, it gives the A&P Commission more revenue in their coffers in order to stabilize and budget their grant that they want to distribute. As far as the same month of June over June, it's 21.76%, which is phenomenal for that 1 month. Year-to-date cumulative, we're now at 9.46%. Realize, too, that all of these revenues, these tax revenues, were budgeted at 0% growth. So that's actually very positive, highly positive. As far as the city sales and use tax is concerned, you see the 2025 numbers were all negative. And we've, like I've been saying for the last few months, it appears that we've flipped the script on that and we're now up the same amount or just almost the same amount as we were in the previous year. So we were down 6.81% at this point last year. We're up 6.27% cumulative this year. So that's very favorable as far as the city is concerned. Oh, I do want to point out, oh yeah, I'll go to this screen. This is the actual amount of money that it equates to. We're budgeting in 2025 city sales and use tax to be 1,973,526. As far as the 2% this year so far, we're at 2,097,325. So it equates to $123,799 more than what we budgeted and is usable within the departments that benefit from it. Water sewer gets 1%, and they're up 61,900, which was unbudgeted. As far as parks, street, fire, and the traffic relief, they're all up 15,475 so far for the year. The interesting thing about the traffic relief bond is that anything positive there assists us in doing additional paid-in capital on the bond, and it pays it accelerates the payoff of that bond. So we're moving that by doing the additional paid-in capitals and applying it directly to the principal. We do it about 2 times a year because of our phenomenal growth, which was averaging right now about 6% over the number of years that we've had this. I think it was 2020. So we're 6 years into it, and the 6 years has generated about 6% growth. And that money is being used to pay down principal, and the debt service is coming off the back end from the interest perspective, so we're going to accelerate the payoff on that. So that's good news. As far as the rebate is concerned, we were at $3,500. So when you take the first 6 months of 2026, so far our rebates have affected us by around $72,000. It's kind of in line a little bit more than what our 2023's rebates were. And if you look at the same 6-month comparison from January through June of 2025, we were at $127,000. So as far as our distributions are concerned, the average rebate per month is $11,400 for this year. It was $21,000 average for the months in 2025. So we're about half where we were in previous years. You see that on this graph right here, where we're tracking right about now, coasting inside what I consider to be a normal range. This is what we've always seemed to be operating under. And this was the couple of the blips due to what we know is a lot of the work that's being done outside right about now on the bypass and the road construction being done within the city limits for RDOT. As far as the sales tax audit is concerned, very immaterial as far as that's concerned. We are well below half of what we were last year at this time as far as the audits are concerned. We have just started our city sales and use tax audit that we've commissioned a company to come and look over all of our bills and try to go after some of our taxes. They're in the middle of doing that right now. They will be back to finish up in a couple of weeks. They have another engagement that they're on. And we'll get a full report and they'll file on our behalf. One of the big things that we're going to be looking at is the federal tax on the police and, to some extent, the fire. For most of the police fuel, that's exempt from federal. And so they're going to go and get that back, but they're also going to show us and allow us to file those reports on a monthly basis so that we'll continue to get that rebate back to us. As far as the bottom numbers that I wanted to show here, it's the conversion into taxable sales. Even though we were up 0.5%, if you add back the rebates showing what the taxable sales actually were, because the tax was on that $17 million in sales for April of 26 to April of 25 and distributed in June. That equated to about a 1.19% increase. So as far as the year is concerned, cumulative, we're up 2.95%. That number is steadily climbing. But I do want to share a little bit of bad news for you. And the bad news is that the inflation rate, which the previous month was 3.8%, has now climbed to 4.2%. That's from the government's website. You will note, though, on the good news, is that the core inflation rate of 2.9%, we're about 0.5% above that. So that's good. What that does is it removes food and energy from the calculation, which they consider to be highly volatile. Food and energy prices go up and down rather quickly, and that does relate back to the inflation rate as a whole of 4.2. So somewhere around 2.9. It's still indicating to me that most of our increases in our taxes isn't because of increased sales of merchandise, but increased cost of what is being purchased. It's more of an inflation factor that's generating a lot of our income, increased income. Wrong way. Oh, I was doing it right. That's right. I was going to show you that 2.9% again. As far as the county sales tax is concerned, there we go. Stop moving it. 4%, if you'll notice that we were at negative 1.71%. 4% is a very good rebound from the previous 2025 period. I'm hoping that trend, this relates to operations departments, all the departments that benefit from county sales tax. And so it amounts to about a $51,248 increase when you look at 26's numbers over 25. And that equates to increased amount of revenues to each of these departments: planning, police, animal control, parks and rec, and fire. So police department's 26,000, 14,007 for the fire department. Parks and recreation's about a $5,000 pickup as far as their revenue stream coming from sales tax that was unbudgeted, sales tax revenues. As far as the combined sales tax, it's 5.3%, and we've really flipped that number very positive. Most of that is coming on the heels of the increased county and city sales and use tax. It does not include the traffic relief bond distribution because the combined we don't get that. That money goes directly to pay the bond. So it's not something that we would benefit from now. We'll benefit from it as far as reduced interest on the bond in the future. So here's what I wanted to show you. I did notice that there was discussion on the other city to our north about what's the NAICS, or what's called the North American Industry Classification System. This is how they have 20 sectors, as they call them, and they put 4 of them is what we normally would track. Those 4 that are highlighted there in color are the 4 categories that are primarily what makes up about 77% of the tax coming into the city of Greenwood on a monthly and annual basis. So the others, you can look at them. Sometimes it makes a lot of difference, sometimes it doesn't. But these are the 4 that most cities focus on, because that's usually what the city's main generation of taxes from. So you looked at 2026 June versus 2025 June, and I've put these numbers out there to show you what these equate to, realizing that this is before rebate and audit, so it's just the raw number of what the sales were. And you look at what the distribution was, and then you can see whether the manufacturing sector was up or down. So it's down 10.9% from this year to last year's June, which would be April's numbers. You look at wholesale trade, and it's up 33.81%. The retail trade is up, or down rather, 1.04% from the June of distribution of last year. And then food service down here, which is your restaurant, your fast foods, they're all lumped in together. That was up 2.89% for June over June. But biggest question is, okay, specifically, what is it? Gasoline? Is it clothing? Is it what makes that up? And these are just the sectors. So the first thing I wanted to do is show what is the 6-month trend. What was the 6 months of January of 25 to June last year versus January to June of 26? And if you look at each of these sectors, manufacturing's up 26.10% over last year, 6 months. 20.89% over last year for wholesale. Retail is up just slightly, almost a little under 1%, 0.83. So retail is lagging, if you would look at it in that perspective, but they have much significant larger numbers. As far as food service is concerned, they're up 7.84. So all 4 of those sectors makes just under 80% of the tax that comes to us. So from 25 to 26, all 4 combined sectors are up 3.75%. Yes.
Can you give me some examples of some wholesale trade here in the area?
I will. I just wanted you to see
I appreciate
it's the next slide. But,
Okay.
Okay. Because I wanted to break down what some of those areas are. Now, I can't tell you any specific, oh, what is so-and-so business? Where are they classified? I don't know that. They don't give us those numbers. They just give us this data, and then they break it down by 158 taxable entities. So there's 158 categories, is what I call them, not sectors, but categories. And if you were to go back to the one previous, you'd see retail trade is 4,400 to 4,500. There's the 4401, 02, 03, 11, 12, all the way down. And each one of those represents a specific category under retail trade. Bulked together, it's retail trade. Same with food service, there's 3 of them. So what I did is I went and identified, we get a report that shows every single category and what the actual amount of the tax was for that month. What I've done is I've identified the top 15 out of 158. And the top 15 represents over 70 or just under 75% of the tax that we get. So just like you would see the S&P 500 against Dow, this would be our S&P 500 under Dow. These are the ones that we watch. And as they go, that's where the city would go as far as the tax is concerned. So I've highlighted 3 of them. One is the general merchandise sales, but all of these that are 4,400, that's retail sales. Those are lumped under categories retail sales. Gasoline, clothing stores. Now, they won't tell me which station and how much. That we don't get that data. This is the lowest level we can go. But I will tell you this one right here, 4541, where it says electronics, shopping, and mail order, that's your online sales. It is, and I broke it down, and it did identify. Those are online sales. Talk Business and Politics, network, but they had an article about 9.3% was the Amazon Prime Days boost in the sales. So in 2 months, I'm going to watch this number just to kind of ballpark where our online sales, how did that match against the national percentage, just to see where we're going. But what I did do is I took the average of the 6 months, and that's the column that you see here, and I compared June's numbers to the average, and everything in green rose against the average, and everything in gray decreased against the average. So we had 8 increased subcategories of the top 15, and 7 went lower. And so you can see exactly how much in a year, well, not a year, in a month, average month sales. Online sales was almost $1.3 million. That's the average. Average monthly taxable sales from online coming into the city of Greenwood, based on that category right there, is 1.3 million. It equates to about is slightly under around $25,000 a month in actual tax to us. And then you have the restaurants and all other eating places, and it does bring up 3 categories, 7221, 7223, and 7225 are the only 3 that have restaurants, whether it's a full dining or if it's fast food, they're all lumped together in that number. And you can see what that brings in, about $1.5 million on average per month. And then I showed you the trend line of the select merchandise category codes for each of the months as depicted here. And you can see that the total for the selected categories represents in June almost slightly over 71%. So that's why I'm targeting these. Just kind of watch the ebb and flow of these. Give you an idea as to where the money's coming from. And
So that's still not showing wholesale right there.
not showing what?
Go back to the previous screen.
Oh, what, you asked for wholesale, not retail?
Yeah.
I'd have to pull up the 4200 code. I can get you that.
Okay.
I just didn't put them in any of this because that number wasn't as significant for the top 15. But I can add anything to this if we want to track and monitor it.
Just be interesting. I'm just more or less interested in what's covered in that. Not specifically by store, but just by type of business.
There are several wholesalers that have tax here in the city of Greenwood. There's probably about, I'd say maybe 8 of them, 8 or 10 of them, that we're getting sales tax revenue from.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know who they are, I just know what they categorize them as. So I thought that would be something interesting for you to see, and I'll start showing you and comparing you that every month, so you can kind of see the
And that's
trend.
provided by the Arkansas Department of Finance. That's all sales tax.
That's good, thank you, Tom.
The City of Greenwood Advertising and Promotion, this is what dollar amount the discounts were. We started in May. At the end of, during the month of May is when we started doing the collections, and we sent out the letters at the end of April telling them that we were taking them over, and if they paid early, we now have the online system for them to actually go and actually calculate and pay, and or just calculate and then come in and pay their actual tax for the advertising and promotion. So in the month of June, a lot of people accelerated their payments, caught up. We gave them a grace period to catch up so that everybody was current. And they do understand and realize now that we are doing the penalties and we are assessing those, and we go back to them if they don't pay, and we send them a bill. So they won't evade it. It's permanently on their record. They can see it just by going online and accessing their account. As far as the amount, it was $228 for the month of June. That was a discount. We do book that separately. So this is what your A&P would have been had no discounts been taken. But these were as a result of people now paying early, and they do take that 2%. And this would be the percentage net for what the gross was versus the net with the discount. So far this year, it equated to $237 for increased cash flow for the A&P. And right now, they're 9.82%, and that is the net amount, $112,000 so far this year in growth. This is what we're trying to avoid, this, which is the up, down, up, down, up, down, instead of what we normally would see in some of these other months where it would be more of a steady line. We're trying to get it to where it's more flat, rather than peaks and valleys where they were paying and then they were not paying, and then they were paying 2 months and they were catching up, and that's hard for every 2 months for the A&P Commission to budget how they're going to distribute their grants. And as far as the June totals are concerned, this was a huge plus for us. We were on a downtrend in June for June collections, and it's now way up, and that had a lot to do with people catching up from what they were not paying. And we've also turned the average monthly A&P collections for the year positive, which is very favorable for us. Now, the trend line is still positive, but we were looking at a declining trend, and now we're trying to flip it back around. As far as the amount for, if we continued with our current average, we look to, instead of having a total year-over-year sales growth negative, our year-over-year sales growth is now positive at 1.13 if what we have now averages that amount for the rest of the year. We don't anticipate that, but when you compare the number is very positive. And our cash flow for the city, we had a decrease for the month of June of $266,000, a little over $250,000. Year-to-date net decrease in cash was $637,000. Our current fund balance, all funds for the city, $11,559,000. And for the year, that's a decrease of 5.23%. I do always want to keep in front of you, first and foremost, that we were budgeted a 60% decrease. Most of that comes from, as you know, water sewer. Lastly, I do want to talk about capital expense. The capital expense for the whole city, we've spent 26.46% of the $11 million that the city had budgeted, all departments. Water sewer was 8.8 million of that. They've spent 30% of that. Remember last year they ended up with 50% being spent. So they're way ahead of what they were last year, and they will probably be in the almost 80% if it goes at the current trend. Could even be higher, I don't know. As far as the city's side of it, the city's non-water sewer related capital was 2.5 million, and we're at 13%, a little over 13% spent. And the contingency fund, lastly, I do want to report on this. For the month of June, we ended up at 1,000,001. So we're 34% above where our contingency fund reserve floor was set, which was the 15%. If you're greater than 25%, that number at 932, the number between that 932, get back. Talk to my screen. This number at 932 from this 746 is not touchable. That's the buffer before you have the a surplus. But this money right here, this 68,000, if this were the end of the year and that's what was remaining, that amount of money would be put into a contingency fund restricted account if you have not already spent it or allocated it for some specific purpose that you wanted to allocate it to, because it is greater than the 25% ceiling. So anything over that, we tuck away, and it's there for you to use in future years. It is restricted, as your policy says. But we're not at what that number is yet. We'll have to wait as the year goes on and progresses.
That's the policy we discussed earlier in the year, and we passed
That's correct.
and decided this is the direction we're gonna take.
And it's
Okay.
looking good.
Right.
And it's given me better night's sleeps.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Mr. Marsh? Thank you, sir. I think I can easily say, it's safe to say that no other city in the state of Arkansas gets such an in-depth financial report.
I agree.
And we appreciate that very much. It keeps us well-informed and on task for sure. I had the privilege of getting to go to Tom's office. He calls me to the principal's office ever so often, and we get to talk about these things. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Agenda additions, as always, we meet on the Monday, or department head meets this morning before the council meeting. We did not have any agenda additions at that time, but as the day went on, we've gathered a few. So, but I've got a couple of arrangements I'd like to ask the council to be okay with if you would pass this. First, we need to add one for sure. I guess, are you going to talk about that, Jeff? I'm going to call it number 1 on new business, or I guess 2, instead of moving numbers. Public parking lot discussion. We'll just call it that, and we'll go into that. And then I've been asked by Mr. Goldstein, because he seems to think he's the only one that wants to go to bed at 9 o'clock, right? If the council would allow me to move number 8 up to what would be number 3, if everybody's okay with that.
I think you're asking for number 5.
I'm sorry. Is it 5? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm sorry.
Tunnel lighting?
Yeah, 5, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, correct.
And then we have 2 more to add.
Yes, and then we have what will be 13 and 14, if that's all right. Is that right?
Yeah.
So they're both planning.
Conditional use.
I don't have, there you go.
If you can read my writing,
Yep,
I don't know.
I will. She can't be as bad as mine. Number 13, I guess, would be conditional use authorization for Alpha Packaging to go from I-1 to C2. And then 14 would be conditional use authorizing, can't read that.
Authorization for Little Blue Farm Stand
Okay,
at West Denver, R1 to C2.
okay. Everybody get those?
You said R1 to C2?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And council okay with that? Making those changes? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. With that, we will do old unfinished business first. Parks ordinance declaring related party with Jules Bakery and Megan Potter, second reading. We were explained I don't just go ahead and say it, the chief of police this morning, how important this is about Jules Bakery. Yes, yeah, if you don't mind. Right, chief? Oh, nice. You guys should go on the road.
Almost had a mic drop there.
No doubt. We don't want that.
Sir? Best donuts in the world, and that's coming from the chief of police, so take it. Yes, sir.
Same scenario as last month. Our new assistant director is directly related to some of, or the owners of the bakery, and just trying to be above board.
Nothing's changed from first reading.
Nothing's changed, no, sir.
We're just,
Not an emergency or anything.
council's just passing this saying, we're aware that the lady that works at the Parks Department is related to Jules Bakery.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And so there's one more reading the
That's correct.
following month, so I make a motion, we put it on for the second reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
It's unanimous. An ordinance declaring related parties authorizing the city of Greenwood to conduct business with Jules Bakery and for other purposes.
Thank you, sir.
I think I'm staying here.
You want to stay? Public park? Yeah. No.
I think
Oh, I did move you up. Yeah, I'm sorry. Finance, or yeah, resolution to amend budget for tunnel lighting costs and parks expense. Thank you. Yes, sir.
So it's number 5 in your packet.
Yep.
Do we wanna ask the council about so this is coming out of city sales and use tax parks, however, I questioned that just because general fund paid for the tunnel lighting. I mean, the tunnel itself, sorry.
Right.
And so I didn't know, really, if this should be city sales use tax parks or it should be general, which, and Tom and Doug agreed with me, so it's up to the council, but we have it like it was first prepared, but if you'd like to strike that in section 1 and put general fund, that's what I think makes more sense. It's consistent with the tunnel. But that's just my 2 cents.
I wholeheartedly agree, and Tom can speak for himself, but I think that's what we talked about this morning.
that makes more sense.
Section 2 is parks, cause it's a damaged light pole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Section 1.
Section 1, I think, should be general, if you agree.
Section 2 is the damaged light on the street of Jones Street.
That's correct.
That's correct?
That's correct.
We originally paid for that out of streets.
I mean, yeah,
That light pole was a part of this project.
So you've bid it as a part of this project
That's correct.
to replace that pole and put the lights under the tunnel.
Correct.
Okay. So I've been questioned on 2 missing lights that were supposed to be put in, and you've determined what? I made you aware of it, that
Thursday.
they were not part of the project,
That's correct.
not part of the original project.
That's correct.
So we'd never paid for those 2 in that original project.
Correct.
Okay.
This morning I talked to Travis Bashirs, who was the general on this project, and he told me that had they bid out all of the light poles, including these 2 that were not installed, they would have actually deducted from their bid price and either reimbursed us back or not charged us, basically giving us a credit for those 2 light poles. And then also Jeremy Shores and I had a walkthrough to redline some things after the project was over. Jeremy would have redlined those missing, and then we would have talked about reimbursement for the city. That didn't happen. I had sent Jeremy emails before this started, and we had talked very specifically about how we were going to handle this in the future. And we said that we're not going to install those 2 light poles and that they would be installed at a later date.
So they were never paid for.
That's correct.
So you
This is 99% sure. I'm going to be 100% sure after I check contracts very thoroughly tomorrow.
Are you, Tom, are you 100% sure we didn't pay for them?
I don't have
Okay.
I looked at the contract back in, when we signed it for the overall project that included all 3 phases. It did not, the contract itself did not detail what's all in there. It was just, this is the project, this is the price, we agree.
Okay.
No, not my copy.
I was looking at minutes to try to see if it was discussed in the minutes.
No.
Not there yet. I don't even know what year that was done.
2023. Yeah. So we talked about it in 2 meetings. We talked about it in July, and or specifically the 2 poles. We talked about it in July of 23, and then we talked about it in November. And both times we talked about the 2 light poles on either side of Main Street being installed at a later date.
So you're pretty darn sure, before we proceed, just make sure you're 100% sure.
I
that
will.
We don't have 2 light poles that we paid for that we didn't receive, and we're gonna do it, we're gonna pay for them again.
I will.
So, all right, so back to what you have here. This is 2 light poles
2 light poles on either side of the tunnel
and then a light
and a mounted light in the tunnel.
underneath the tunnel.
That's correct.
Okay. And you're just needing a resolution, and we're gonna change this. We're gonna strike
CSUT to general.
part, yeah, and just refer it to the general.
Just put a line through CSUT Parks in that title. And then down in section 1,
Okay.
we're gonna change that to general fund and the number.
Well, I don't see a problem with it.
Well, so the 2 extra lights, we assume are a part of the original project that the budget was coming out of general fund, correct?
That's correct.
So, okay, that's fine. That's good.
Anything else, council?
Joel, do you seem satisfied?
Main Street.
Okay.
Now, if they said, look at the original contract, see how many poles we talked about, the lighting, how the distance between the poles, and there's a total number of poles. And it's up to somebody to check the invoice and see how it compares to the detailed contract, to make sure those 2 poles were either deducted or we paid for it.
Okay. I think.
The
between-
email with Jeremy Shores and I from July of 2023, after the project was bid, said that we would choose another contractor at a later date to come in and install
Okay.
those 2 poles.
I think between the Parks Department and the Finance Department, we can be 100% sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. I make a motion, we adopt this resolution
Second.
With those changes,
with those
General?
changes.
all right.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a motion and a second to adopt.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
I'm done.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Okay, I know my numbers are all weird. I think we're public parking lot discussion. Mr. Turner?
Towards the end of the last meeting, we had discussed a few things that we wanted to kind of try to nail down on the parking lot on Main Street. Also, the hydrant, and then street light for that parking lot. So I gathered some information. Total cost on materials for the parking lots, which is the main parking lot and the smaller parking lot where the fire station used to be. Materials is about $50,000. A little bit of fluctuations on those prices. Asphalt is all over the place, just like any petroleum product. So that I went conservative on that. So that's making the assumption that we're going to do the work. The light poles are now at $10,000 a piece. The decorative lighting like we have everywhere else. So depending on the number that we get for the parking lot, and there's a couple other places that we could go towards if we wanted to move those down the new section of Main Street, South Main, going towards the bypass.
Okay, the guy before you, Casey's fixing to buy 3 for 11,000 his labor.
Those aren't the decorative ones though. Those are the LED ones, right?
Talking about the decorative ones that are on the square.
We're talking about the black ones that,
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. And you own the poles that we're putting in?
That's correct.
Where did you come up with them?
They had them left over from the project.
That would have been nice information to know when you were here a second ago. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
it's okay. So that's the clarification on that. That's the difference on that. And then the hydrant. No, I printed out. So I've got my iPad, I guess.
Do we have any paperwork, anything to look at on that public parking?
Of what?
Do we have anything to look at on what we were discussing about the public parking?
I think there was a conceptual design that was just kind of a made-up type design. I don't have a full-fledged number of parking slots or anything like that. I just have the area that we're going to cover and the materials to do that.
So y'all are wanting to do this yourself?
Now, that's what I was making the assumption that we would do, keep the cost down as much as we could.
I thought we were gonna take an engineered drawing and put it out for bid and.
And we can do that.
Get it done.
I didn't go that far.
There's Hunter right there.
There is an engineered, parking lot plan.
Oh, in the plans of that's right.
The lodge, yeah.
Yep, that's right. I forgot about that.
And Jeff, sorry to interrupt everybody, this is just in front of the lodge, right, into the side, not,
Yes.
not back behind what we own ourselves? Or is that a part, that's not part of this?
No,
Okay.
that's not a part of it.
Okay.
Well, we own the area right next to the lodge.
Right,
We are the developers of that area,
correct.
which means we require developers to put in a fire hydrant.
Right,
We will be developing that area, and it's supposed to have a fire hydrant, so we're gonna put the fire hydrant in, right? Okay, so that's part of the project.
that's part of the project.
So we're gonna put in a public parking area right next to the lodge, and then catty corner to the back, I don't know how you say that, behind,
Well, you can look up there where that cursor is
Okay.
to the, right, that's the front of the building, if you will, but come back to where who's doing that? Tom, you doing that?
Tom.
I guess.
so it's back behind where the old city hall used to be.
Right,
We
the
still
grass
own that
area,
grass.
right below that, Tom, right there.
That right there.
Right there.
And the idea
Now,
was,
that's not part of this price, though, correct,
Well,
Jeff?
I don't believe, yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
Okay, that is ours, as you know, you are
Yeah.
correct. It's all ours.
Oh, I do have it right here.
Technically. But
and we were gonna connect those two together to have
Right.
egress.
Right.
Right, correct.
Well, do you mind Hunter says there's more planning. Do you mind getting with Hunter and bringing us back something a little more detailed
Sure,
next
sure.
month?
Yeah, present something that we can look at and evaluate and understand. This is,
The cost of the hydrant installation and the equipment itself is $12,339. So that's that cost. My understanding is that the water department was gonna put in 10 towards the installation, I think. Is that right?
this is ridiculous.
Okay, 50% up to 10.
Okay, can you just bring it back
Yeah,
next month?
sure,
A
yeah.
little more detail?
Yeah.
And, I know that AC had said last time, he was kind of expecting this to be kind of like your rendering of what you're gonna do in the downtown area. That's a good place to start, right there at the public parking area, that this is gonna be done right and done well, and we'd be done with it. Drainage, curb and gutter,
Yes,
all that.
yes.
Do you mind bringing that back
No,
next
then
month?
the amount of islands and those sort of things, that's,
Everything related to financially, drawing wise, we wanna see the project.
And even though you're gonna do it, we would like to see it.
what's that? I think he sent it to them.
What day was that? 6/1/26, I sent the parking lot plans to all the councilmen via email.
Okay.
Just so that you had it. Yeah, it was at your request.
Right.
The last meeting.
So we have that,
Okay.
but it's not, it doesn't have a pretty picture. It's construction drawings.
It's more, okay.
That's fine, just that and the budget,
Yep.
the detailed budget on it,
Okay.
so we'll know what it looks like, what we're spending on.
Do you want to continue with the assumption that we do it, or do you want me to see what bidding it out would be?
I would like to bid it out.
Okay,
I mean, that's just me. There's a whole other side. I'd like to see it bid out and
Okay.
be done with.
okay.
But we
Costs
are,
a lot more money.
Yeah, I would think so.
is that it?
You don't wanna, I mean, it's fine to bid it, but the cost savings, I think, are gonna be pretty substantial if we do this in-house.
We're sure we're capable.
Well, I'm sure. I think our department head's sure.
Just a question though, why would we not want to extend that pavement out to that other spot behind?
I think we do want to. I think
We
it's a
do.
matter of cost. If
Yeah, it's just a
the
matter
council wants
of
to
cost.
consider that all at the same time, it'd be great.
I wanna consider it all at one time and be
Okay.
done with it.
I'd love to.
I
Because
mean,
we
it's
go,
gonna be public parking,
Right.
and I would say,
we go broke piecing stuff together.
yeah.
Let's just do it all at one time and be done with it, and do it right.
We've also inquired, and we do not have it by any means, but we've inquired, can you go back to that other slide, or, I'm sorry, just the overhead, the pretty picture? We've inquired about that, where the city hall used to sit right there. That is private property, but someday, we'd love to obtain that too.
But at least for now, it'd be nice to have a secondary
Sure.
egress.
Absolutely.
If you got people that are watching a parade, you got people trapped. If there's a car wreck, they're trapped.
Yeah.
So we need that secondary egress
Yep.
out the back. So when I say right, meaning complete street, the lights, everything.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
And do you have anything in terms of landscaping, or is it just gonna be solid concrete?
That also, does that plan not include a little bit up next to the building, separating the building from the parking lot?
Yeah, I think it had some islands
Is
and
that not
things
on
like
the-
that.
Those required green spaces.
Yeah, there it is.
Required
Yeah.
that the plan was done. I think that's down towards Bill Dunn's fire.
Right.
Okay.
That's where it would go.
I'm not opposed to I'm not opposed to us doing it ourselves.
Okay. I'll get engineered numbers and bring them back to you next month then.
And I think the fire hydrant's decided. We are the developer, we are gonna put the fire hydrant in. We are not benefiting anybody else. We're the developer on this. That's our parking lot.
And it's got stages in there where, how many parking lot spots are in there
Yeah, it's all right there.
on that
Okay.
plan?
Jeff, your estimate, your $50,000 for materials, that include moving the material, grading that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The underpinning, everything, fill, with shell, that was all in the raw numbers that I got.
So if you'll do the same thing you've done here on the
On
the
the
grassy area.
Yes.
The one grassy area.
grassy knoll.
Grassy knoll, that's right.
Okay.
And so the city would do, street department will do everything. They'd lay the asphalt, or they subcontract
We'd
parts
sub
of
the
it?
asphalt.
You'll sub out the curbing and guttering,
Yes.
and
But
you'll
we
sub
would-
out the asphalt.
Yes.
But y'all would just do all the packing, okay.
Yes.
Okay, and you've got the equipment for that?
Yes,
Okay.
we are doing that at present time on another project.
And who's gonna be doing the inspecting for you guys on everything that, just like you would a commercial if we'd gone to bid it out, who's gonna be doing the oversight on that?
Same one that
Inspection, or are you gonna be doing the inspections on it?
Mr. Lloyd,
I mean, that would be,
buddy, you want to, did you want to speak? Yes, sir,
Yeah,
absolutely.
come on.
We do appreciate what you guys are doing for us, but something I think we need to consider in the next 30 days, we're gonna be done. And still no parking lot. So that means we don't get a C of O.
So, I mean, Hunter, could you come up?
While he's coming, I would make a request to all of my city councilmen. I would appreciate it if y'all would call our state representative and let him know that our state highway department is not doing what they told us that they would do. We're getting run around, everything we send in, now it's not, they don't do that anymore. But when we had the meeting with them, it was. So I'd like for all of you to contact our state representative, and he's getting a full packet of stuff that we have applied for that's been rejected and rejected and rejected. We're fixing to have to start raising some money.
So,
Yes, sir.
so what documentation do we have to go back to our state representative and say, this is what?
I can get you all the paperwork you need.
Let's go ahead and make sure the mayor gets that, and anything that we need to communicate with the
Ron's
representative.
in charge of that, so he will take care of it.
Okay.
Hunter?
So Hunter,
yes, sir.
they bring up a good point. The people building the parking lot, which is us, we're behind. And that will hold them up by not getting a certificate of occupancy, correct?
Yes.
So,
Do we
Now-
have room
now-
for a variance?
well, now that Jeff's gonna do it as us, he's not gonna beat them. It's not gonna go that fast. So, can we as a council waive that requirement until this parking lot gets done? Vote and pass it?
We have in place a temporary certificate of occupancy procedure, which requires the fire marshal and I to go out and do a site inspection.
Okay.
And then that's a decision made on both of our parts. It's not a me decision or a him decision. Both of us have to be in agreement.
So if both of y'all are in agreement, then we don't have anything we need to do.
I wouldn't recommend bringing it to this body for that decision. And, I mean, if I make a bad decision and they don't agree with it, they can appeal that decision with you all.
Okay, that makes
Would
sense.
that be appealed to the planning commission or appealed to us?
I think technically it would go to the planning commission first, and then they can appeal the planning commission decision to you all.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can leave it with you and the fire marshal right now?
Yes.
That's
Okay.
good then.
Okay.
Question, buddy, this parking lot, it was part of the original plans that were submitted to RDOT.
Right.
So if we invest $50,000 material, hydrant, poles, everything, is that something that the city could be reimbursed for? If,
We haven't got reimbursed for anything. So I doubt that it would. The only reason that we paid for that is we had to have that to get a building permit.
Right.
Is that correct? I'm gonna give you an update real quick. Brick masons are gonna be through in 2 days. They're gonna start laying floor in the fellowship hall, possibly this week. We're getting ready to dig in the electric, so that means we're gonna be ready for heating and air and lights. That's how close we're getting. But I would, and Mr. Tedford, we will get you and the other guys everything you need.
Okay.
I've already talked to our representative, and he said, bring me the stuff, and I'll be glad to do it. But I think if all of us get involved, maybe
ring some bells. And thank y'all again.
Thank
Looks
you.
good
Take
so
care.
far, buddy. I said it looks good so far. The building so far is looking good.
It is.
Yeah.
And actually, we had another fantastic pancake breakfast. And I look forward to next year because just a few feet past our lodge, people going to be finishing the run, they can just turn around and come back and eat.
Right.
And they'll have a new place to park.
Yep, and a new place to park.
Okay, anything else, council?
We would like to table this, like a motion to table.
Yeah, I need a motion to table.
Motion to table.
Second.
Motion to second.
Mr. Meeker,
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater,
Yes.
Tedford,
Yes.
Mr. Powell.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Okay, thank you. I have a request from the planning department to remove item 9 and 11. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Needs further work on one
Okay.
of them.
Sir. Good. Number 3 or 4 or whatever it is, for the city clerk treasurer, confirmation of AMP commission member term renewals, Mr. McAllister, Mr. Brown, Mr. Hassan, Mr. Gosh, Mr. Powell, and Mr. Bader.
Clarification real quick. That
Yes,
was the original 9 and 11 we moved, not the updated.
Right, the ones printed on there.
Right. Right, yes,
I
sir.
like to keep numbering
Sorry.
the same and then move them around. It's easier to keep track of
Yep.
instead of renumbering everything. But yeah. AMP commission members up for renewal here. The reason why there's so many of them is because way back when, 4 years ago, before 4 years ago, prior to, we lost track of, I mean, they just went on and on and on for years, and I didn't have an original date of appointment for everybody, so we just kind of started from there. Just 4 years ago, this was done, and they all said they wanted to stay on, so if we could just get a vote to keep them on.
Yes, sir. But would you mind coming up? Thank you, sir.
What Charles was talking about, that's happened in a lot of cities where
Yep.
well, when was brought apart, it just, sometimes that stuff doesn't exist.
Yep.
There's a provision in the initial beginning of A&P commissions where you take 1 year, you take 2, you take 3, so they're
Staggered.
Staggered. Because going, not this year, not next year, but 5 years from now, or 7 years from now, when does this term begin? And you don't want all of your terms beginning the same year, because that could lead to a disaster. So, could I suggest that the commission discuss staggering their terms among those appointed members so that down the line there'll be terms that are actually,
They are staggered. We just hadn't followed,
Yeah.
we just hadn't followed it, and now it's at the
we've got
point.
the staggered, good, okay.
They are staggered.
Initially, it was.
And,
It had odd.
right,
And the private council members, of course, they're on there for the.
they are staggered. I don't feel like we need to redo that, cause they are staggered. We just had kept up with it.
And kept up with,
So
with
now,
this process.
now there's
got off track.
6 of the 7 that need to be reappointed. And,
If you,
and I'd like to add to that discussion, so, you know, 2 are from the governing, you know, the body, the city council, and that's myself and AC. I do not mind at all having a discussion to rotate one of us off. The problem's always been, the timing. These guys wanna meet, you know, at, 4 o'clock, cause they have restaurants they're running. But I was thinking Roger might have more free time. If Roger would like to take my spot, I don't mind y'all having a discussion over that. AC is, AC had mentioned before that, hey, I'm not gonna rerun. He's decided to rerun for his position. And I said, well, Roger, he's got a little bit of freedom, so we can put Roger in your
No
spot.
pressure.
Yeah. And I know I keep saying Roger, but Steve's out of town working and stuff. Ralph's working over at Game and Fish, and he's off, so. But anyway, y'all can have a discussion, about rotating me off and it would be just fine.
Does anybody else wanna do this?
Roger, you volunteering?
By your silence,
And I'm not
It would
saying
be
I'll.
okay.
you'll be all right.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
So you wanna replace, Rod on there?
If he's ready to do it, you know, now, I guess I could step in.
You're talking about now,
You wanna do it? You wanna
Mr.
change
Powell.
it?
Or do you wanna wait till at the end of the year, or just do it now? Probably be better to wait till the end of the year, wouldn't it?
Well, I'll
Not
just,
necessarily, I mean,
Okay.
anytime is, they meet every other month as
Right.
well, so only 6 times a year. So
well,
that's better.
since I'm in, let's wait till the end of the year.
That's what I was getting at.
So on the year starting January 27, let's make Roger
Okay.
one of the council representatives, and that would be taking me off and putting him in.
Okay.
So now, I don't feel like I need to abstain on this. I was gonna abstain on the vote for my reappointment. I'll go ahead and vote.
Right.
Okay, have a motion on these?
Need a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the list presented, removing Rod Powell's name and putting in Rogers
As of 1/27.
as of 1/27.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 3, or whatever number it is.
It is 3.
3 is finance amendment to resolution 118-15, updating purchase card procedures. You want to take it, or Mr. Tom?
Let's see. So, we had a deal come up where we have an assistant parks director now who in our purchase card agreement, it says that, our rules, policy, says that only directors have purchase card rights. And so the assistant parks director, the director needs her to have her own card for convenience and logistics and whatnot. So we, on page 2, changed it to the shaded part that you read there. And then we have a few other changes. We went ahead and, reviewed the whole thing. Tom went through it as well and made changes to pages 3 and 5. So they're all indicated there. There is a revised version that's a front and back that I put in your,
We get any kind of review from auditors on things like this where it involves processes?
they read all of our minutes. That's the first thing they do is ask for the minutes and.
They don't have a problem with the dollar limits, that's self-imposed. We do have an overall credit limit that are best assigned to the city based on their credit worthiness at the time.
Then I feel
We
good.
have the ability to monitor that and to make the individual departments, limits internally.
Okay.
Tom, I do, page 3, where I didn't even notice this earlier today. It says dollar amount per month. It still says 2,500. Do we wanna mark that out?
Yeah. What we have is we have certain departments that have typically some additional costs that usually are putting it on the credit card. For instance, Parks Department, their big event just happened and they had a lot of credit card purchases that they needed in order to make this event occur. And so we were always temporarily bumping up their limits, and then we had a discussion today about what limits based on the needs of each of the departments were. There's nothing set in stone that said every department has to be 2,500. That's just something that we established when we first took this program on a couple of years ago. So we talked to each of the departments. We're well within our $50,000 just by the departments that we have.
that's what we're trying to do with this strikeout of this
Yeah.
250, because whatever's in the budget is what we'll adhere to. That 2,500 though is a part of another category here that says dollar amount per month. Do you wanna just strike the whole dollar amount per month, 2,500 there? Does it any of that need to be in that section?
When you establish it, it's variable
Yes.
by department. We just don't want the dollar, you don't even have to reference that. We do establish a dollar amount per department, but it fluctuates.
Okay.
So do we strike the 2,500? Or not?
We'll change the language to be generic without
Right.
a dollar
Something,
amount.
something based on
Something like
amount,
approved
amount budgeted.
credit limit,
It's an approved credit limit by department, not to exceed
approved
their
departmental
dollar
credit
amount.
limit.
Okay, makes sense.
Also, what is your process in finance when, say, boots are, 250 right now in the budget, that's the limit, and they're purchased for a department and it's 300 and something? What is the finance department's process or any process for making sure that employee pays the city back? Cause I feel like that's
As far as the credit card purchase is concerned,
you'll see it.
yeah, but most of it is not done by the credit card. It's a rarity.
Oh, is it?
They buy their shoes, if they go to Jelco, for
Right.
instance, Jelco only charges the city the dollar amount allowed. which
And then we
is
have that
$2.50.
form.
They're responsible to pay it at the cash register for the difference in the
Right.
Do we require that same form when they're purchased by the city on the purchase card? I don't think we do.
Jelco?
We
Yeah,
do?
they turn it
No, I'm talking, no, just
turn it in regardless.
the cities, when they're purchased with the purchase card, I didn't know if we still require that form that shows this employee got boots, but it was on the purchase card.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Turn that in.
Cause the reason I'm asking this is cause it gets hard to keep up with,
Right. The,
You know.
employee usually buys the shoes themselves and then gets them.
and that's preferred, yeah,
Yes.
but,
In the occasion that you're talking about, if I had somebody who couldn't afford the boots
Yes.
at times, and they found boots that they wanted over that, there'd be a split payment.
okay, that's how I like to
250
do,
on our card,
yeah.
and they pay the rest.
And I think that's really how we should do it, but I'm not, maybe that's hard on people, I don't know.
No, I don't think so, you don't wanna.
I mean, they got 7 days to pay it back anyway, they're gonna have to pay it back soon.
Exactly, right, so, that's the way we do it, I guess, out in the field.
Yeah, okay.
You use the term, department's, credit limit in place of that 2,500. How is that?
We,
That's the way it should be.
okay, like general admin, when they have the AMLs, all of those hotel bills are on the card, because that's how the hotels have to reserve the rooms, and then they get charged for it. And we get the receipts, we get the hotel receipts for it, so the amount for that department, for instance, we set at $8,500 as a cap, because of those events that he had when he was, but that amount is reviewed, we can review that annually, and we can look at the history, what are they spending, we can raise and lower that in order to safeguard, like I said, the exposure to that would be if we had an unlimited amount, let's say 50,000, somebody could go well above that before it gets caught by by Arvest. Now, we had, for instance, a former police chief, his card was hacked by, or accessed by somebody who was buying, it was actually, it was some big event in France. They were buying international tickets for something, and we knew that wasn't good, and Arvest saw that as a potential fraud and immediately denied that and stopped it and alerted us that this has been going on. And so we're not harmed on any of this. We get caught, we work very well.
Yeah.
We have online access to everything and can immediately suspend that card from our office. So if there's any hint that there's some issue, we stop that transaction and we immediately contact the department director. So we're on that, and we get the notices every day, so.
Well, what I was just wondering is if you wanted to base that on amount budgeted.
Well, there's no.
There's not a budget number for this.
Budget that.
There wouldn't be.
No, but I'm saying that, the credit limit would not exceed what was budgeted that particular month for it. So if you had the Arkansas Municipal League and you'd budgeted this money to go to that, and your credit card limit wouldn't exceed that for that month.
The problem
Whatever
is
was
you can
budgeted.
charge anything in the budget with this thing. It would be hundreds of thousands of dollars because you can use it for anything. You understand?
Well,
That way, that would not work.
Gas purchases, for instance, is on that.
yeah,
And police uses gas a lot more than any other department. And right now with the cost of fuel, that puts a tax event to us that they had to have an increase and they're at 7,500, primarily because they have 20-something fuel cards. So,
Our preferred method, and it does mention it in these policies, is for them the vendor to bill us anyway, and avoid using this thing. But in the times of convenience and, and when it's better to do like an online payment for whatever reason, there's a lot of that now, we use the card. And that's why that sounds good at first, but it's not a real world way to do that. I mean, it'd be a lot of money.
this system isn't broken, we're just modifying this policy to match the practice.
Right.
But the department is gonna share the two cards for this department are gonna share the credit limit for this department. They don't each get now
Right.
25 or whatever. Because as a whole, everybody suffers if one department really skyrockets theirs, I don't know. It's nice to have this thing, but it is very tedious to keep up with for the finance department. And it's a big old thick thing that we have every month to pay the bill. Gotta have all the original receipts, et cetera. Anyway, that's the reason why we're doing this, because it was prompted by the need for another card in parks for the assistant director.
It's the opportunity to do that.
Yes, and it's always nice to do that.
Well, I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adopt.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
yes.
And Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous?
Thank you. Next item is city attorney, follow-up discussion on pool fill adjustments.
Yes, I just wanted to follow up. Last month, Mr. Newcomb,
He's not here.
he's not here,
Usually,
had a question regarding pool fills and specifically stated that he felt like he was paying for something he did not receive. I talked to Tim and the water department, sewer department, and nothing about his usage in the last 10 years seemed out of whack. It all seemed pretty regular. He did get a pool fill adjustment once each year. But most importantly, our ordinance, number 24-02 sets our sewer rates. And it explicitly says in there that rates for the city sewer service shall be based upon gallons of water used. And so, I feel like, I don't feel like he was not getting something that he paid for because your sewer bill is based on your water usage. I don't know where you would draw that line. What about when you water your flowers? What about when you give a glass of water to the kids from next door? I mean, there's really no way to measure sewage. And so that's consistent across all municipalities I represent and have looked at. And so I really don't think there's a problem with the way that our sewer rate structure is set. It explicitly says in multiple places in here that it's based on thousands of gallons of water used. And so that's how we bill for sewer. That's all I wanted to address. If anybody has any
Any
questions, I'd be
questions or-
happy to answer.
So it's not broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Any questions, comments, council? This matter? Okay. Moving on to number 6, water treatment plant resolution to waive competitive bidding on clean out of sludge ponds.
Why are we waiving competitive bidding? I bet there's 20 companies that wanna do this.
Tanya's got something
Tanya,
to say
is this,
about that.
you wanna address this, or Tim?
If they are, send them my way.
Yeah.
We've tried, it's a very proprietary thing.
This isn't one of those deals where we're waiving competitive bidding and they're already doing it, is it?
last week. Kidding, no. No, we've had I inherited this. It should have been cleaned out several years ago, and it's been budgeted. And the price has gone up. They quoted us 60,000. Now the new quote is 90,000. It could go 100,000. That's for 500,000 gallons. It has to be permitted. It's very proprietary. We tried to get another quote. We couldn't even obtain another quote, due to the nature of what it is, so.
Make
Sorry,
a motion, we approve the resolution.
Motion in 3 seconds.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
I want to make a quick, thank you, sir. Thank you, council. I want to make a quick comment. I kind of gave Tanya a hard time this morning. That she knows people that the rest of us don't, but the Apache helicopters that flew over recently for the 250th anniversary of our country took pictures of really cool things in other communities, and when they flew across Greenwood, instead of the square or downtown or City Hall, they took photos of our sludge ponds, which looked very, very nice from the air. So she said she did not make that happen. She hadn't seen it. But if you've not seen that, I don't know where that website is, but it's kind of pretty.
If they'd have waited till we cleaned them, it'd been better.
Well, the pretty green was glistening, though. It was kind of an interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Sorry. You know what I don't know what I'm talking about. So. Okay. Oh, it's on the other side. Okay. My bad. Anyway. Okay. Number 7 is Parks. Sorry. You were halfway up, Casey. Confirmation of Heath Weeks as Parks Commission alternate member. Is he not here tonight? Wow.
I don't know if many of y'all know Heath, but he's an outstanding guy. He showed up for a couple of the Parks Department meetings. He's helped me tons. He's kind of been my IT guy when it comes to the Christmas tree on the square, my go-to, and he's also served on the Freedom Fest committee for 4 years now.
Excellent. And he's a Greenwood resident, 660 Forest Parkway.
That's correct.
I taught him how to play basketball when he was a kid. That's why he's not doing it today.
He's also a volunteer coach for the trap team at the high school.
Well, there you go. He's coaching.
Really good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I'll make a motion, we approve Heath Weeks.
Second.
Motion and second.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Next up, Parks ordinance declaring related party with All Phase Electric and Ashley Parker. Emergency passage.
Ashley Parker serves on our Parks Commission, and I just found out by happenstance that her father-in-law is Kevin Parker. He owns All Phase. Very important that we have this resolution in place for her.
Since he's about to put in our tunnel light.
Potentially, yes.
And do you want it under emergency?
Ideally, yes. If that's okay with y'all. Before I sign any paperwork with All Phase.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we put this ordinance on for first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion and second.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
It's unanimous. An ordinance declaring related parties Kevin Parker and Ashley Parker, authorizing the city of Greenwood to conduct business with All Phase Electric, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
I make a motion that we waive the second and third reading.
Second.
Motion and second to waive first and second reading.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
I make a motion, we enact the emergency clause.
Adopt
The emergency clause.
the ordinance.
Adopt the ordinance, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Thank you.
Second.
Motion and second.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Can I do it now?
We need Tim. We need Tim here.
That we adopt the emergency clause.
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the emergency clause.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think I'm done now.
All right, appreciate you. Thank you.
Gotta adopt the ordinance
Hey,
before you can.
just for a
enact the
second, I mean, you can sit
Thank you
down,
for
but I
keeping me
wanted to,
straight.
you mentioned Heath Weeks helping you with all things parks, and he has been for a long time. I've seen him at the Freedom Fest every year. But another young man, I'll call him, here in Greenwood that has helped out, and he'll love the fact that I'm calling him a young man, is Travis Hawkins. Travis Hawkins is there from in the morning till the night. I think he got a little overheated this time, and went home to take a little break, but he is always there. He never asks. The only thing when he comes in the week before, 2 weeks before the festival, he wants to know what time he's supposed to be there. And that's all he ever, he's just there. Sir? Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning, so if you see Travis around, do me a favor and do this, cause I pretend that he's an angel and he hates that. So, thank him. He's an amazing guy. Number 9 has been removed, so we'll go to number 10, ordinance rezoning property on East Center Street, C2 to, I-1.
Mayor, council, Ms. Derry, Mr. Plummer, I'm here representing the planning department. Mr. Bell's knee is not feeling too great today. In front of you, we have a request to rezone Lot 1 of a new 4-lot subdivision off of East Highway 10 from C2 to I-1 Industrial. The intention for that property is to construct storage units as set by City Council, set 2023, 2022, to move storage buildings into the industrial zone. This is the second proposal by the applicant. The first time they submitted it to us, Planning Commission did not approve of it. They did not like the layout. This new layout has two commercial lots up front, which block the majority of the actual storage buildings. Also, the I-1 zone has a required 50-foot buffer for the rear setback from residential zones. So overall, this proposal protects the residential area and preserves the commercial frontage along our corridor.
How does it protect the R1, which is right behind it?
It's required to have a 50-foot rear buffer that is, that buffers between the R1 and industrial use.
50 foot's from here to the door.
That is all treed currently. So part of our requirement and plan approval could be to retain the existing canopy.
And so the commission was fine with this.
This was the second proposal, and they did vote to approve this contingent on the final sale of the property.
That's Highway 10 right there, correct?
Yes,
Where the
to
hand
the
is.
south where his cursor is.
Okay,
That's
so
correct.
industrial, part of that industrial would,
General's down right there. Yep.
part of industrial would be abutting Tinsburg or Center Street.
The drive.
Why do they want to rezone the commercial as industrial? I mean, directly on the highway.
That is what is required to have storage units per our zoning ordinance. Storage units, that use is only allowed in industrial by right.
Okay, so, but I mean, okay, the corner of that lot, what are they gonna use that corner lot for? Is that, I mean, show us,
So the flagship lot there, the pole portion is going to be the entrance to the property. And then they will have an office building just to the right-hand side, pretty much where the cursor is, just a little bit to the right, it's gonna be the office building where you would approach and you would see a entrance gate. And then
Okay, so
beyond that would
you
be
said the planning commission denied this,
the original submission, they denied.
and what did they change?
The original submission, the entire, where you see the two smaller C1, C2 lots broken out, that was also industrial. It was one large industrial lot that took up all of our commercial frontage.
So let me wrap my head around this, where that hand is, if you go to the left of that, that's.
Dollar General Market.
That's C2, sales tax generating business, they
Yes.
sell everything, we get sales tax off it.
Correct.
If you, that hand, behind that industrial, that's all high-density R1.
Correct. That is all subdivision.
That is a whole lot of voters,
Yes.
absolutely a whole bunch of voters with no buffer other than from here to the door. So our sales tax generating business is all the C2, all the commercial, everything down there zone commercial. So so the plan, I don't see how this got through the planning commission. So you're asking us to remove this C2, which is sales tax generating in prime property going down the highway, disenfranchising all those R1 voters back there, and then we get no sales tax out of it. No, all of the financial stuff we were going through earlier was sales tax, which is how we exist and thrive and survive.
Correct.
And you're taking that out. Man, I'm a no. There's no way.
Gentlemen, would you like to speak, sir?
I got one quick question. Did we not impose a moratorium on the building of storage units?
Till we pass that ordinance requiring them to be in an I-1.
Right.
Temporary is in,
Yeah.
I think it's 6 months.
Temporary is temporary. We passed an ordinance to put all the mini storages in I-1 because you don't expect I-1 to generate any sales tax.
It would generate the same as a medical office or a doctor's office. It's just a service provided to the
But that is a
citizens.
service provided.
Yes. They're both services. I mean, people have stuff they've got to store and they need places to put it. It keeps the city overall in a cleaner look.
You know, if that I-1, I mean, if a non-sales tax generation was a medical clinic, but backing up to high-density R1, I'm fine. That is not a bad scenario. And those are a lot of voters back there to disenfranchise people coming up for an election.
Well, it's not just the election. It's not the election. It's just the fact that typically you have buffers between industrial and residential.
And there is a buffer there. There's a 50-foot buffer
That's
that
not,
has
when
trees.
we talk about buffer, we're talking about types of, like going to C1, then going to multifamily, then going to R1. The density of the intensity of the use, and this does not follow that typical planning design.
Okay. Well, the spot in the very front corner that's attached to the road is more of the office. It's not going to be your storage units. You're not even going to see the outside of the units. They're in the part that's hooked to that's going to be all inside. So it's going to look like a building for one. And then you've got, well, like I said, the 50-foot buffer that's going to have trees. It's going to have a fence up that buffers that zone from them neighbors. I mean, the gentlemen, people putting this in, it's not their first time doing this. They've done it throughout Central Arkansas, up to Jonesboro and Paragould, up in that area. We originally, like he said, had the first two lots as industrial. We went through through planning commission. They was like, no, we don't like that. So when we stepped back a little bit, got with our client. I mean, they've got to have access to the back. So we pushed most of the storage that you would see is in the back of that property, going to be behind those C1 or C2 lots. So therefore, they can, a C2 lot or something can go in front of those buildings to cover, to help buffer anybody from seeing that from the street. And we also submitted drawings, renderings of the property to the planning commission, show how they were gonna do it, along with a drawing for them to see the units, how they looked, and on the lot.
How does this benefit the city of Greenwood?
It gives your residents a place to store their items instead of putting them in their backyard, putting them out on their carport, putting it in their garage, and not be able to park in their garage. I mean, people store their stuff. I've got stuff in a storage unit myself,
Y'all got a great lobby, and that lobby has prevented us from collecting sales tax on all this. So there's no financial benefit to the city of Greenwood for us to improve this.
Do they not get revenue off of the rental of the units?
No.
I mean, I'm not a finance person. I didn't know.
No.
That's why we passed the moratorium, is this, if you have property that's supposed to be commercial use, and that's what that highway, that Center Street is, then if we tell you we want mini storage on industrial, so then you take industrial and you replace commercial, it's defeating the whole purpose of zoning commercial. And as far as the city goes, you know, when we're looking at revenues coming in, we're not gonna get anything from that. And that could be all commercial there. It doesn't have to all be commercial, but you're taking the prime piece, that lot right there.
But, I mean, be honest with you, a commercial lot that size, I mean, commercial property, how much of a building is gonna use up that property? That's the reason why we kept them spots on the front, 1 acre lots on the front, and then also you got the big one on the right side there. We kept those out there to still have the revenue generating businesses out there and be hidden in the back. We had to keep that little section in the front for access for our property. You have to have that access to the road. We can't put our I zone back in the back and not have access to a
How
road.
wide is that right there?
Do what?
What's that distance?
Let me see here. Let me pull the plans up.
I believe those lots were they 120 deep or 180 deep?
I don't have,
Approximately 120 wide.
plan I got right here don't have it on it.
Okay,
But it's probably,
Hunter, you remember?
probably over 100 foot, a little over 100 foot or so, or maybe,
So that's 100 foot of major water and sewer distribution line that we get no benefit from.
And just for perspective, the lot that McDonald's sits on Center Street is, what did we just say, 215 feet deep? It was about 215. Just put a McDonald's on a lot. So these C2 commercial lots, what's the depth of those?
off the top of my head, I know that number.
Well, we need to know that because it's fairly limited as it
What can
stands.
go in there and what can't?
On there, but you just can't really see it.
I can pull it up on my phone, hold on. If y'all want to continue your discussion.
Sure.
I'll get you the dimensions of the lot.
You mentioned pictures that you had provided. I didn't make that planning commission meeting, but did,
We did, I don't have them on me.
have 'em?
No, I didn't bring them.
don't even
I
know
walked
that.
out of the office
that's fine.
in a hurry. Storm, it was trying to be a storm coming through Cersei today,
I got you.
before I headed this way, and I walked, they were sitting on my desk,
That's fine.
along with all my plans and everything sitting on my desk, so I had to have somebody from the office email me.
Will you be the owner of this?
No, we're not, we're the engineering company.
Who is,
Crestwood, or Crest,
and where do they live here in Greenwood?
I don't think they live in Greenwood.
Where do they live? In Sebastian County?
I'm not exactly sure where their actual main office is. I know they got offices in Beebe, they got offices, units in Beebe, Perigold, Jonesboro, Cersei.
So the money they profit off of this property is being spent elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Rod, they're the same people that we did business with out there at the Dollar Tree, the AT&T store, and the exercise. They developed that.
Well, those are businesses that generate sales tax revenue.
And the people behind there in Greenwood were all sent letters and explained to them what the project was, and we got no pushback on it.
You get your pushback on the election.
You'll get it if they get on the.
I mean, I've been to
tonight.
plenty of planning commissions, and a lot of times when somebody's in opposition, they show up. I've seen a full room full of people that are in opposition. I've seen a full room of people that are for it. You know, it goes both ways.
I tell you,
How far out were those letters sent, Sonny? How far?
400 feet, is it not? I think 300.
It's 300 feet radius.
I tell you, you had me if you'll remit sales tax on every unit in there.
And
Yeah.
When this industrial rezoning, this was all commercial, correct? And it was all commercial, so I need to know the depth
still all
of those. I know, I need to see the depth of those two C2 commercial lots sitting there.
That's what he's
'Cause
looking at.
I don't think that's gonna be adequate for,
We did discuss this at planning commission. They are adequate size to have, to put a, drive-through facility on. They're 264 wide on their frontage by 166 deep.
okay.
So they're not as deep as McDonald's, but they're wider than
They're wider.
McDonald's is. The lot two, the closest one to the left is 221 by 166.
Well, we're compromising twice. We don't have a zoning buffer between the industrial and the residential. There's no scenario where it speaks well to abutting an industrial property to a residential. Because it could be mini storage today, and then you could sell that, and somebody else could put some type of industrial usage in there that's not compatible with those people. It's not compatible with residential, it's not compatible with commercial. Ideally, you would have more depth on those commercial lots. That could be, I just can't see the benefit to the residents, to the city sales tax of putting this in. You're usurping commercial to put in something that is not appropriate abutting residential and not generating sales tax. There's absolutely nothing that I can see that advances anything in
But
our
you just
interest.
said, one of y'all just said a few minutes ago that you'd be fine if like a hospital or something that wasn't generating, still not generating your tax stuff, went in there, you said it'd be fine.
No, that's one person
I
said that.
Okay, I said one person
that
did.
I would be fine.
That's what I said.
If you
One
had a little
person.
Mercy Clinic right there abutting that neighborhood, I'm fine with
But
it.
you're-
It generates no sales tax.
And see, that goes forward, you're talking about sales tax, but then you're saying, well, here's an exception to that. You know, here's an exception to that. There's always an exception to everything. And like we said with the buffer, in your code, there's nothing that says you have to go from an I-1 zone to a multifamily to this, to that. There's nowhere in there. We're putting we put that 50-foot buffer in there to have that buffer where you're not gonna have a group of people, and nobody showed up at the meeting to object to the, design or anything like that.
And the sign for rezoning was posted on the property and everybody was notified.
And it was, I think, put in the newspaper. And nobody showed up at the meeting to object to it, you know, so the neighbor, and them neighbors are abutting them, so I know for a fact, those neighbors right there were notified, and I know that everybody within 300 feet of the property line, not the center of the property, but of the property line, were notified.
Once it's industrial, any type of industrial use can go in there. And if somebody starts using chemicals, somebody
Should there not
starts,
be a condition put on it?
The condition for me would be you pay sales tax.
I don't have no control, that'd be an owner's
Well-
question. And I don't know how you pay I don't know how they pay sales tax on this
Well,
stuff.
there's a law that they don't have to, because they got a really good lobby. And that's probably why you get pushback from people like us. And if you're counting votes, I'll go into what I think about the planning commission at council forum over this.
yeah, I'm not, you know, they can get mad and they can vote me out, but industrial use is industrial use today, tomorrow, the next week, and the year after that. And it can be anything that qualifies industrial can go in there, and what goes in there today is mini storage. May not bother them today, but as long as you're industrial, the next person that comes in there and uses that property can use it for something that's not appropriate. And to go in and take sales tax generating property away, I just don't see I don't see any benefit from allowing this to take place. Just one man's opinion. I would refer it back to the planning commission and tell them, you know, look at your zoning. Trees are not a buffer. You know, trees don't have to exist there forever. You know, if you could go in there and you could guarantee that the trees would live forever, and they would never be removed, you still have the problem of industrial use in the future being something that's incompatible with residential, and it doesn't generate any sales tax. There's no planning support for this approval. And I would take it back to the planning commission. I think we ought to vote on it and.
Or take no action.
Yeah, I think, yeah, if you wanna halt it, then it's up to you guys.
I would move that we reject the zoning request.
Is that a
I'll
motion?
second it.
Is that a motion and a second?
You did move it. Who seconded that, Rod?
Mr. Idle.
Okay, Mr.
So what was, repeat what the motion was?
To reject.
Reject, okay.
Reject this proposed
Okay.
ordinance. Right?
Yes.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hunter, thank you.
I think I'm up next,
Okay.
I believe.
11 has been removed, so we're moving to 12, planning. The description was given by Ms. Derry earlier. I don't have it written down.
Yeah, there's, we don't have a piece of paper. It's gonna be
Right.
a Hunter presentation.
Okay.
I gave you all 2 sheets of paper, or 2 packets.
Oh, the
You
ones
should
that
all-
were sitting up here?
Yes. Those were just the applications for these, conditional use requests.
Sorry, we do have pieces of paper. He came and put those down after.
Yes.
So it says,
Property rezone.
The first conditional use request that we're entertaining this evening is for Alpha Packaging for their facility on Ware Road. They are wanting to lease that facility to an individual, Alterations by Lori, who is not an industrial use. They do not conform to the current zoning. We are not requesting to change the zoning, but to allow a conditional use for that commercial use in an industrial zone. Conditional uses are only good for a year. They can be renewed as long as they are continuing that use, but as soon as that use ceases to operate, it automatically reverts back to an I-1 use.
Is this the little building off the parking lot? I think we talked
Yes.
about. Okay. Oh, you got it in there? I'm sorry.
There were,
Gotcha.
while Alpha Packaging underwent an office remodel
Yeah.
a couple of years back, they
Yeah.
transformed that facility into their temporary offices.
what's the red mark?
Where the red mark is, yes.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had that.
I didn't.
What's got an alterations business and there's an office space there that she wants you.
Right there.
It's
Alterations,
Next page, next page.
It is,
clothing alterations?
yes.
Yeah.
She currently has a location in Mr. Oliver's facility on Center Street across from the dairy.
So she would have customers coming in. It's a true C2 type business. She's going to perform a service, charge them sales tax, and send them out the door.
That is correct.
And then when she goes away, it reverts back to I-1.
Yes.
Well, I'm all for it.
Alpha Packaging did mention that they might possibly entertain the idea of having a storefront in the future if this current proposal was to go away.
For their factory.
Yeah, for their factory.
So we're actually allowing a more restrictive use of the property,
Correct.
which is good. I mean, if, it's more restrictive,
Yes. This was voted by the planning commission unanimously.
So do we need to make a motion to approve it?
Yes, this wasn't anything that required ordinance by our current ordinance that requires it comes to you. It just says it requires your approval. It doesn't state that we need a resolution. We just need a vote of the council.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second it.
Motion and second to approve.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Mr. Michaels?
The next item is going to be a conditional use for the Little Blue Farm stand, which is located on West Denver Street. I think the address was 1414 West Denver. It's just east of the intersection of Webster and Denver. This property previously had a house on it that was torn down. I'm not sure how long ago, but it's been empty and vacant for quite a while.
So this will just be condition on them being there, and then it reverts back to R1?
Yes. They were not aware of our processes and procedures, so they had already got the building put in place and had some gravel work performed when I drove by and had a conversation with them, got them set straight on the proper procedure, and then they've gone through the appropriate channels ever since.
What they have, a little solar?
They do have
array?
some
Panels.
solar panels just behind the farm stand to power the stand. They did state that if they have some success with the business, that they would look at getting city water and power in the future.
The neighbor to the left, did he object?
We have had no comments.
So the neighbor to the right didn't object,
Correct.
and then the heating and air guy back there behind, nothing from him.
We have had no comments. No, it went through planning commission, public hearing.
Their stand, they're selling stuff.
Yes, I believe that they have it open to multiple vendors. If you wanted to put your product in there, you can. They've got security cameras and whatnot. The doors stay shut, so you show up, you can open the doors, peruse the products, and
So that'll be a business that collects and remits sales tax.
correct.
Yep, I'm for it.
Hunter, real quick, that says no sign at road. They intend not to put a sign up?
Correct. They do not want to put a sign out. A lot of these farm stands operate off of word of mouth.
Would there be an objection for them to do that at a later date in that area? Depending on
They
what
would
sign it
have
is.
to adhere to our sign
Signs.
ordinance.
Okay.
And the idea on that is if they're putting in a business like this, it's supposed to limit the impact on the surrounding, and it's not a high-density area here. All these properties are fairly decent size. But
Less.
in a residence, what you're seeing would be if somebody wanted to open up something like this in a subdivision, you're gonna have a lot of traffic coming into that subdivision that wouldn't ordinarily be there, and it's gonna disrupt the character of that neighborhood. And this does not seem to have that potential.
No, this is operating off of one of our minor arterial streets. I don't foresee an issue with traffic in this area. It's got a limited customer capacity. I don't foresee having multiple cars there at any point in time.
Unless they've got sweet corn.
And if they are, they're gonna be there for a really short amount of time.
So, Hunter, let me ask you, they got one building there now.
Yes, sir.
Next year, they put another building, and then another building. At what point does it become a restricted use residential neighborhood to need to go to a C1, to a commercial use?
I think that if there was any addition beyond what is approved with this conditional use, that they would have to come back
Yeah.
for another conditional use.
So we can add that to our approval.
You can approve it with said conditions that it stays with this single structure.
It stays a Little Blue Barn.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
That's a good catch, Ralph.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what's, okay, 2 to 3 vehicles for parking, so.
It is it's a kind of like a shed. It's a 4 foot by 8 foot shed.
You're expecting a visit from the fire marshal.
Stuart, it'll be gone before you get there.
Have sprinklers.
I'll make a motion, we approve it
With that condition,
with that condition that, with the current building as is. No addition.
Because
I second it.
if they wanted to have additional in there, then what would you do commercially? If someone came in and said, I'm locating a building here on a 3-acre lot, and then they decide they want to put some other similar business, you would ask for some type of site plan,
Correct.
and you would want, and now you've got additional use in there, you would need probably additional infrastructure. So that needs to be noted in there that, you know, any additional use may require site plan and
I think
And
that,
rezoning.
and this is, in my opinion, if they determine that this business is successful enough to need to expand, that they should look for the appropriate commercial property and the appropriate commercial location.
and that would revert back to R1 and.
Because at that
It
point,
stays
you're
as
not
R1.
the little blue farm stand, you're the big blue farm market.
Okay.
Have a motion and a second.
Mr. Meeker?
Yes.
Mr. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tedford?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Michaels. I believe, if my calculation's right, that's all the agenda items. We'll go to department reports and questions from council.
I did get someone was telling me today that on the bypass, that there are some large trucks that are turning on Main Street. And he said, would it be not more appropriate to have maybe a sign there that says, trucks take Coker instead of Main Street? Because the cars get stacked up waiting to get onto the bypass, and these large trucks are trying to turn at a 90-degree, and that Coker has a curved turnout. I said I would present that.
Jeff, you might want to address that. Here's what I would say about that, just in general. We can put up as many signs that we can afford to put up, and we still end up with semis on Bell Road today, as of late today, who turned around and jackknifed in one of our employees' yards.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that's not a bad idea. I don't know, you might be able to address the fact Coker in itself.
Yeah, so there's, you know, that's a bit of difficult turn there for some of those trucks.
You're talking about coming,
He was talking about
Sorry.
when I'm waiting at the stop and a semi is coming from from Center Street or 10, whatever it is at that point, and they're turning left, it's a 90-degree. Whether if you're going down to Coker, you've got kind of a curve to turn.
The only reason that they should even be on
yeah.
Center Street would be a local delivery.
Well, you know, there are going to be deliveries for the school.
Well,
That's what he's
like
saying.
that.
local deliveries like for hearts or those,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
acceptable. But there should be no other traffic. They should be taking 10 all the way out to 10, to the bypass. They should never be in town at all,
Okay, okay.
unless they're delivering to.
Right, but if they're delivering to the grocery store or to the school, then our preference would be for them to take the Coker exit off the bypass as a semi, rather than taking the Main Street, because the Main Street's a hard 90-degree right with potentially multiple cars here. And Coker Street's a much more gradual turn. It's just somebody brought that up, and I said I would bring it up at the meeting for consideration.
I don't know that we can signage to force them to do that.
Detour to 10.
Yeah.
On South Road.
Yeah,
Have their signs leading up to
right.
South Road to go. And if you go, if you're looking just by your phone, you're gonna miss the sign. You actually, the truck drivers, you gotta be professional driving, you actually look at the road signs, especially when it says road construction ahead, dead end 1,000 feet, dead end 1,500 feet, detour, detour, detour. They gotta be professional and pay attention to the signs and not just their phone. What you're saying, once they get past that and they make that right on to North Main, it's still made where you can make a turn, it's tight, but those roads are still made where tractor trailers can make the
Yeah, if they can, I happen to be in,
headache for them.
I happen to be in side by side with Chief and Officer Gossett Saturday while we were determining what needed to be done to get ready for the festival, and we're sitting kind of in the middle of the road there, and here comes a Walmart truck behind us, not knowing where he was, I guess, and the chief led him through the parking lot behind the tank, and he was able to come back out on Center, and then turn left at that light, and then hit the bypass and turn left and go to Boonville. That's where he was going. But how do you get that far without?
And the GPS has been updated. There's a flyover already on the map.
Yeah,
You can see the bypass.
I've got it on mine.
the map. So they're not paying attention and they're not following their GPS.
We're still waiting word on, from RDOT if that's actually a truck route
Yeah,
on 10.
yeah. There's a discretion
There's
there.
a discrepancy whether that's actual truck route or not.
Yeah.
And that'll put no
One.
through trucks, I gotta weigh the risk of every time I stop somebody, I have to have reasonable suspicion of a probable cause. I can't just assume that you're making a local delivery, and we're taking a risk anytime we stop somebody, so. We're stopping somebody because we think they might not be making a local delivery, you're taking a lot of risk. So I would say until we get clarification if that's a truck route or not,
And what?
I'm not really
And what?
forcing that, just to.
Yeah, and what's interesting, we talk about this a lot, what's interesting is there was word came from RDOT that is not a truck route, but RDOT themselves placed a truck route sign by First Baptist Church when this construction started, so.
And we have put
And-
a sign out there on 71 saying truck traffic
Right.
going 10.
It- We're still dealing with all that daily,
Yeah,
but anyway.
just so I can say I did what I said
Sure,
I was gonna
absolutely.
do.
Anything else for department head or?
I'd like to bring something up for your benefit, Steve. I pulled up the industry codes and categories, so if you wanna know what the wholesalers were.
Yeah.
The 4200s, there's professional and commercial equipment supplier wholesalers, this is the tax representative. Electrical good wholesalers, hardware, plumbing, heating, machinery, equipment supply wholesalers, paper and paper product wholesalers, grocery and retail product wholesalers, chemical and allied product wholesalers, petroleum product wholesalers, miscellaneous non-durable goods, motor vehicles, motor vehicle parts suppliers, merchant wholesalers, lumber and other construction material wholesalers. Now remember, some of these they're multi-categorized.
Yeah.
Places like Walmart is grocery too. So they have a grocery side and a retail side, so they're
Yeah.
categorized in multiple different areas.
Yeah.
So, household, you have hardware, plumbing, heating, equipment, machinery, miscellaneous durable goods, paper products, drugs and druggists, sundries, merchandise, apparel, grocery-related product merchant wholesalers. So there's quite a few. Like I
Yeah.
said, there's several that generate tax.
Well, That helps me wrap my head around that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And
These are all the categories right here, and they're all, there's 158 of them.
looking at those categories, we don't have a wholesaler business here, but I would imagine most of it's like me. When I go in, and if it's going into my product, I'm sales tax exempt. So it's probably the sales tax exemptions coming from places like Jaegers and lumber and stuff that's being delivered in town.
Martin Young's business out there.
Martin Young's business, yes, because they're sales tax exempt, but they're recording what they paid.
Right. Okay,
Would
I
you buy
appreciate
that?
that.
Do you think that's correct?
I'm not gonna venture a guess.
Okay.
I just know that I questioned that too when I saw wholesalers, I thought, what? But there could be a component of what that drugstore does, that's a wholesale part,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. They're multifaceted as far as other categories, they're not lumped into just one category. Walmart
Yeah,
is an example.
there was a toy store in Fort Smith, and it's got a little small storefront, and they sell neat little toys. 9/10 of their business is online, and, you know, you just see this little place, you can go buy a yo-yo, a fancy little yo-yo there, but, that's not what their business is about. And there might be people who sell retail and then do a large business wholesaling.
Chief? Sir? Yeah, you can, absolutely. No, go ahead. Come to the mic, sir. Tell us who you are, where you live.
Chief Brian with Greenwood, City of Greenwood Fire Department. Just gonna let you know, we did get the Safer Grant applied for. Tom and I and even the mayor came over and went through the final process before I hit send to make sure that he knew what all that it entailed. And so we applied for 3, and it's for 4 years, so it's 3 full-time. So it'd be a total of 9 to meet the NFPA requirement. And so we'll see how it goes.
I looked at the application and Angie did a really good job.
Sounds better.
And when do you typically get an answer?
Just saying.
Well, no, most of the time it's probably, I mean, for last year's, they just came out this year, and so most of the time it's about a year behind.
You're like a year, yeah.
Yeah.
So you won't know for a year?
So we may not know until maybe February or so. Maybe get lucky in December, November, something.
Any big hurry about it.
And so, anyway, but it'll have to go, it has to go, the process now is it goes in, the computer will kick it out if there's anything that doesn't meet the computer, and then it goes to a board, and then there's, if it actually makes it to panel, you have 3 fire chiefs or firefighters or somebody that's on that panel from another state that go through all the state of Arkansas ones and pick and choose. And so it's no one from our state gets to choose. And so I've had, if I get the opportunity to be on one of those panels, I know there's a couple of my associations that I'm part of. Every once in a while they ask for it. That's one of those times that we'll ask to use more on the credit card to be able to go on that trip, even though they'll pay for it for 2 weeks and learn how to grade those so we can ride them better. And you go there after you look at 500 of them in a row, you start to see the patterns. And so anyway, it's applied for. We got it all in. That was done on the 21st or 22nd, whichever day it was required. So just gonna let you know.
Thanks, Chief.
Hey, Chief, one other question. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah.
One other question that we, or one topic of discussion that we discussed at that meeting, or our budget study session, whatever you want to call it, was discussing with EMS, them and picking up, us covering their
Yes.
pickup assists.
Mayor and I went on vacation for about all last week and a couple days before that, so we have not had a chance to have our meeting yet.
Okay.
So we
We'll ask you again next month.
do what?
We will ask you again next month.
Okay. So we, Mayor and I will have to get together and have that meeting with the judge. But yeah, after I got main thing was try to get that grant done in time, and then after we got that done, I took some time to go with the family and go to DC before all the excitement and the fireworks.
Good.
So, anything else? Yes, sir.
Last time we visited, you're gonna bring us back a on-call policy. Pay, shifts.
Well, I haven't had time to have the meeting with the
I
board.
know
with
you've
the
been on
board.
vacation, so
Yeah,
just,
I've been gone.
when you tell us that other, next month, tell us,
All right.
bring back your proposal,
Yeah,
just so we can approve it.
all right, so we'll look at it and see what we can figure out, and I just know right now, I don't know if you saw our numbers, I've put our stuff together at the last minute tonight and didn't realize it was past 5 o'clock when I hit send to Charlotte, so I don't know if she was able to get it out to you or
It's
not.
on our tablets,
But again, it was, half the med calls had zeros. So it's very consistent, and so we're gonna have to do something different.
Well,
So-
the on-call policy would be a tool, so
Yeah.
let's try it.
I think
Right.
our biggest problem with that's gonna be that we have 9 that live outside of town, and we have 12 that work for full-time services, so it's gonna drop us down to about maybe 10 or 12 that even have that option. And so we'll see if they're or if it's gonna work.
They may not do it, but just bring us back a policy with what you're gonna pay, the shift, and let's approve it, and then let's try it.
Give it a try. Okay. All right. I appreciate it.
And then report back, over time, just like you do everything else. Is it working, is it not?
Right.
I forwarded your report to them, council.
Okay. I appreciate it. Anything else?
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Any other department head for anybody?
Yeah, I got a couple questions for Jeff. Updates on some drainage. I had met with a gentleman up on Burgess Drive. I guess he's saying that someone come out and put flags in their drainage ditch and was doing some surveying, and then nothing happened.
We've got some preliminary drawings to do the drainage work up there. It's on Fowler is where that problem is. There's a V ditch up above, and that V ditch just dead ends at a fence. So it's shooting water under the fence down different paths of their yards.
Okay.
And so, we're gonna try to do some of that in-house, ourselves. The problem we get into down on Fowler itself, you're right on rock. And so getting good cover on a culvert, very difficult. So, some of it won't be able to be in a culvert, it'll still have to be an open ditch. And then we've gotta make sure that we're not shooting that water the next street down
Yep.
on them. So, we're trying to get them taken care of, but there's a lot to it.
Okay.
The ditch that tees into is an issue too, correct?
That's right, that's what, it just.
That's what you're talking about.
It dead ends right there.
Yeah.
And so if you put more water on it, you
Yep.
go up and over, and hit the houses down below.
Okay.
So it's kind of a tedious little thing there.
The other spot is on Woodland Trail over in Forest Hills. It's that ditch that would be on the west side of Forest Hills and in between the school and the houses.
Yes. I got a, construction easement from that family this week to do that work.
The one at the very bottom,
Yeah.
the one that's sprayed all the
The
time.
one that has the, the school, of course, said, have at it, so we don't have a problem there, but when we got down to that private property there, that we needed the construction easement to get all the way to the highway. So when it dries out a little bit more, we'll be able to get back in there and start scooping stuff out and make a good trail all the way down to 10.
It'll all be,
That's the longest part, was trying to get them to agree to the easement.
it ought to be good and dry.
And you mentioned, I think you mentioned the sprayed yard or the
Yeah.
property. We're addressing that too. Code
Yes.
enforcement's, we've sent numerous letters and requests and what are you doing and why are you doing it? And because neighbors obviously don't like the look of it and we don't either, so
Yeah.
we're looking into that.
The owners are potentially looking at putting in a business, and I don't know what it is. They're in the restaurant business, so I'm kind of assuming it'll be a restaurant, but I don't know how far out that is.
Maybe it shouldn't be with all that stuff that's in the dirt. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Looks pretty bad.
Maybe Hunter or somebody. Hey, do you guys know how the gas station over there on these sides do? How are they coming along? I know they've been working in there cleaning it, and they've been doing some work. I just wondering how they're.
They have approached me with a preliminary set of drawings. They were not architecturally stamped, so they were turned back around and requested to have architectural drawings. That was supposed to be about a month out. That was the last communication I had.
We're talking about the east side gas station that
The
caught on fire.
Alon, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they were, they just had kind of a floor plan layout of the building, said that there wasn't gonna be any exterior modifications. I politely disagreed, and then, told them they were gonna have to have a structural engineer come in and certify the, structural integrity of the interior of the building, and then provide an architectural set of plans that involved, having an exterior disconnect for the gas pumps.
That would be nice.
Yeah. But that was about a week ago, so hoping we have something in 3 or 4 weeks. We'll see.
Okay.
Like to get them back open though.
We've got it all over there.
Okay, if there's no other department questions or from council, we go into council forum. got anything? Nope.
I know I was gonna say something about the planning commission, but
No.
I don't need to say anything.
At one point, several months ago, we talked about, now is a time when there's not a terrible large amount of development inside the city, and those are the times you take advantage of a quiet time to put in place policies that will give people time to react. And one of those is when we extend services and we're looking at getting paid back for those extensions of services. We always react to a development and put one of those things in place and figure out how the recoup is gonna take place. And Tim's always been the one to come up with those. I think we need to look at something right now in terms of, it's a quiet time for development. Let's look at a policy or an ordinance that we can put in place and adapt each time so that they can't be circumvented. Because I know we had one where we extended infrastructure out and people found out about the extension and bought taps before we had the chance to put the ordinance in place. So I think we need to do it now and have us start looking at that, some type of ordinance. And the other thing that we need to do, and I guess this is more of a question, Sonny, Hunter, is the planning commission really taking a good hard look at the lack of extraterritorial jurisdiction? We lost that last year, and I spoke with the deputy planning director in Fort Smith, and everybody uses that term, the Wild Wild West. Spoke with an engineer who said it's the Wild Wild West. And Fort Smith owns some water rights, which gives them a little bit of leverage, but we don't have that. And we really need to start.
Our leverage is that we have an ordinance that says if you want to build outside of our city limits and, have our services, water, sewer, whatever, you have to be annexed. And
Okay.
Jim Douglas said that was our go-to.
Yeah, what about our master street plan? How do we enforce our master street plan? I mean, if, that's not a city service that we're providing, but as somebody develops, if they wanna put something with 3-acre lots out there, and it is gonna be right in the middle of where our master street plan extends out, we can't control that. So we need to look at strategies. We need to find out what other communities are doing, what Fort Smith is thinking about, what Barling's thinking about. We need to be proactive. And and the ordinance says that it is gonna be the responsibility of the county planning board, of which one does not exist for Sebastian County. So if it means we've got to start looking and looking at the county and saying, hey, this is your responsibility, how are we gonna carry this thing out? But we all need to start looking at it, because these are huge planning issues. And the,
I assure you that I talked to the, county judge, I talked to Jim Douglas, I talked to AML, and our, territorial jurisdiction is gone.
okay,
The thing that we can do is have a county judge that is willing to work with us, as far as somebody, for example, the area out on 96 where they put those 5-acre lots and have well water because, Milltown Washburn couldn't supply them. There's nothing we can do about it. It's kinda like the new state statutes of where
not about that specific, but I do want to remind everybody about issue 3 coming up on the November ballot. If you're not aware of it, please make yourself aware of it. I'm invited a gentleman that was at the AML conference this year to come and speak. We've heard many speakers talk about it, and John's one of them, John Wilkerson, but whether it be John or somebody, I'm gonna have him come to visit with us at a council meeting and also answer any questions if you've got anything. If you're not aware, it's the tool that's gonna help Arkansas get in the game, with incentives. Every state except Arkansas and Arizona has this benefit in in their toolbox, but until it gets passed in November, we don't have it. So it's gonna be a deal breaker, if you will, if it gets passed. So anyway, anything else for council forum? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Well, so one last thing, we have a budget study session scheduled for when, next week?
Okay.
Is it?
15th.
Oh, July? I don't even have it on my calendar.
Yeah,
Is it a quarterly financial review? Oh, okay.
yeah.
You said a budget study session, it just made me think of next year's budget.
Yeah, well, quarterly review. I'm not gonna be able to make it, so.
I'm not gonna be here either.
No, I was gonna say, why can't you do them some other day besides on a Wednesday?
Yeah, you don't like Wednesday.
No, I go to church on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, we set those in the, calendar, when we're doing the calendar, and then. Yep.
Yeah.
What about July 30th? Is that good for anybody? It's a Thursday night. Or the 28th, a Tuesday night. That's bad for fire?
Chief,
The last
28th,
Tuesday of the-
Tuesday night.
I think I'm okay, yeah.
The last Tuesday of the
Either
month?
one, Tuesday, 28th, be okay.
That's first our meeting.
It's a fire meeting?
He was talking about
What, the 28th?
the fourth Tuesday.
What about Thursday, like you said?
The 30th? Is that good?
Tom, you good with that?
July 30th?
Should be either one.
So July 30th at
6?
6 o'clock?
6 is what we usually have it.
Yep.
Danielle's not here. She'll bring something homemade, I'm sure.
It's okay.
Yeah. They beat us out last time.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
Good.
Good.
Anything else? If not, motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
Thank you all.
No, and I think the only one we scored on was a penalty kick.
Biffy, Jesse.
I think the only one we scored was a penalty kick.
Biffy,
Yes, sir.
Jesse.
Biffy. Biffy.
Do what now?